And we are live. Kia ora tātou, kia ora e te iwi. Nau mai ki tēnei punua pāpāho. Hello and welcome. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 1 of my podcast and I'm super excited to look into it. I haven't figured out a name yet, but I didn't want to get too stuck up. I nearly got too stuck up on all the minor things like a name and a title and all that. And when you think about all these things too much, it stops you from actually taking part in doing it and learning as you go. So this is my first episode. Anyway, before we start, we're just going to address the elephant in the room. Now, if you're listening to this, you can probably hear the background music, the background noise, like that I'm in a car. And if you're watching this, I don't know if you're watching this, yes, this is being recorded in a car. So I'm doing this while I'm driving. And the reason being is my commute to work, it's about 45 minutes each way. So I'm spending an hour plus in the car a day, sitting in traffic for an hour plus a day. And that's on a good day. Sometimes my drive home is about an hour. It can even go up to 2 hours if there's accidents. But yeah, I thought I'm sitting in this traffic, and why not utilize this time better and do something about it. And instead of sitting here listening to podcasts and listening to audiobooks, why not make your own? So then here we are. Here's our new podcast. Let's call it for now the Tiki Harawira show, or the Tiki's podcast. I don't know. We'll figure out a name. Now the reason why I want to do this is to utilize my time better in traffic, is one of the reasons. But it's just to have some insights, and for me to dive in some of the topics that I'm interested in. I listen to podcasts every day, and I know a lot of you listen to podcasts every day. And I just find it so cool how people do this for a living, where they talk about interesting topics, talk to interesting people. And I've always found it super interesting how people how they do this. And so I thought, why not do this for myself? And also it's a way for me to document my journey and create something. As we all know, content is king for most businesses, and this is a great way to add value to others, give people value, and pump out as much content as you can to help out as much people as I can. Now I'll be talking about all sorts of things, from mainly my expertise, or what I kind of know a bit of, which is health and fitness. But we'll also touch on lifestyle, relationships, just anything that I feel like talking about, we're going to talk about. But hopefully it'll be of value to others. And yeah, I just get some, hopefully down the line, who knows, we can start interviewing some people. And then it helps me learn a better skill, which is podcasting, and then learn how to communicate better, how to navigate my way through conversations with other people, and just to learn, which is what we're all here for in this world, is to learn. Now, a bit of background. Who am I? My name is Tiki Harawira. If you didn't know, you probably already know this, because sure no one's just stumbled upon this episode, but if you have, welcome. If you have, it means I've blown up. Nah. But if you have, welcome. My name is Tiki Harawira. I'm a personal trainer here on the Gold Coast, and I'm from a small town, small village in the heart of New Zealand. It's a little town called Ruatoki, and that's where I'm from. Now, a bit about me. All of my adult life, I've been a new term I've figured out, I've found, is I've been a wage slave. I've done your typical jobs, and I've done a lot. I've worked in a lot of industries, done a lot of jobs. From working in kitchens as a pot wash, doing the dishes, working on a chef line, worked as a tapas chef. I've worked in restaurants and bars and pubs and resorts. I've done construction as a labourer, and I'm a roofer at the moment. I've done furniture removing, I've done event planning, I've done tour guides, I've done festival setups. I've done a lot of work for money. I've been a wage slave, done the mahi for the money, for the cream. But you have to, as you get out of school, I thought the only way that you could make money was to sell your time, was to go find a job. That was the saying that I was brought up on. If you want money, get a job. And I was never. That's all what I was told, and that's all I knew was get a job, go to school, go to uni. If you don't go to uni, get a job, and just work your way up the ladder. Get the basics, the typical life that everyone goes through. Now, there's a quote some of you may know. It's if you love what you do, if you find something you love, this is really paraphrasing. If you find something you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life again. Now, when I was younger, I never really got this quote. I did get it, but I thought it was bullshit. I didn't believe it. I thought everyone had to work, and I thought not everyone loved their job. Of course, that they'd go and do this, they enjoy their work sometimes, but no one, this is what I thought anyway, no one loves their job. They just do it they just kind of enjoy it. And some people may, this is how I was thinking, some people may like it, but they don't love it. Wasn't even a thing. And so that was my thought back then, but people would always talk about find your passion. You got to find your passion, what you're passionate about, what has that burns that flame inside you, that deep desire inside you that pushes you, wakes you up in the morning and you want to do something. And I never really had that as younger. I had sports, and I wanted to play professional rugby league or rugby, and I had that kind of drive. But that was all. There was no. I didn't think that there was a passion for me in career-wise, where if I had to, I would do this for free. There wasn't anything for me until I found fitness. Now, how I found fitness was so funny enough. So my partner, my better half, Sam, she's a personal trainer herself, and we're both co-owners of Car Training, our personal training business. But yeah, we're both personal trainers. She was personal trainer before me, and I just never, even though that she was the personal trainer, I never thought that it was a possible career for myself. I knew it was a career, but I just didn't think that you could earn a good living and make it all. I don't think that it was possible for someone like me to be working in a gym training people and get paid good money for it. But I remember because I used to when we used to talk, I used to tell her, man, I just want to find a job that that doesn't really affect my training. So at the moment I'm roofing because the money is good. We'll get into that in another episode. And back then when we were having this chat, I was roofing, and I said roofing's a hard job. It's taxing on the body. You're in the sun all day. The Queensland sun is brutal, and you're doing hard mahi. Like it's pretty hard on the body. And I used to always get sore backs or sore hips, or I was always in pain. And I used to always wonder, like, man, I just want to do a job that I'm not in pain and it's not going to stop me from training. So I've always loved training, and trainings for forever, since I was 14. Anyway, I was saying to Sam, I just want to find something that I can do so I don't have to limit my training, or it doesn't hinder my training. And I told her, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a youth worker. And she was like, a youth worker? Why do you want to be a youth worker for? And then then I said, I bumped into one of my old mates, my schoolmates, and he was saying he's a youth worker. And yeah, the money's good, and I think I'll be pretty good at it. And then it won't affect my training because the hours will be good. It's not too hard on the body. I'm not in the sun. It'll be easier than roofing, that's for sure. So this was my thought pattern as I was, thinking about this. And she was like, why the hell would you want to be a youth worker? You've never spoken about this ever. Like, I've never heard you talk about you working with youth. And I said to her, yeah, I don't really, it's not that I want to be a youth worker. It's just that it allows me to train more. Like, I'm not going to be as sore from work because I'm not going to be on the roofs all day, or I'm not going to be in the sun all day, and I'll be able to spend more time in the gym. And then she was just she was baffled, like, what the hell? Why don't you just become a person? Why don't you just do personal training? And then that was my aha moment. I don't even know why. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know why I don't just do that. And then that's how it started. And it makes sense. Like, all my life I've been into training. Like, I started training when I was probably, 13, 14, going for runs and training for the rugby team when I started playing rugby. And my dad got me my first membership when I was about 14. And one of the main things I took from my old man, when one of the good lessons he taught me was, so this was because to go to the gym. So he told me, when you say you're going to do something, you have to stick to your word and you have to do it. And then he was referring to me going to the gyms in the morning. He's like, son, when you set your alarm and you say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, as soon as you do that, you have to do it. You have to stick to your word. As soon as you stop and think about it, that's when doubt creeps in. That's when the little voice inside says, oh, the bed's feeling nice. Why don't you just jump back into bed? So why don't you just tuck back in and we'll go to the gym tomorrow? So yeah, that's what I done. I go to the gym. I train in the morning, 5:30 before school every day, and that was me. My whole going through high school, I just trained and I loved it. Taught myself how to everything from YouTube and blogs and articles and everything. Just taught myself how to train. Also, my old man helped, and I had heaps of other people who used to teach me stuff. But Anyway, yeah, so it made sense why I was to go back to why I would personal training, because I love training. I used to train my parents and my brother and my siblings and my cousins when I was back home in New Zealand. Would do like little workouts, and I used to put little workouts together, but it just never came into my head why I would start personal training. Anyway, that was my aha moment, and that's how I found it. Thanks to my darling, my better half. I put one and two together, and I said, stuff this, I'm going to be a personal trainer. So I was just doing PT on the side, because at first I done my course online. It took me way longer than it should have, and started my journey as a personal trainer. I was just doing it on the side at first. I'm still doing it on the side now. Done a few classes, taken a few classes, a couple of HIIT classes and stretch classes and mobility classes and strength. Just done what I could to get a bit of experience. And we also started. So this was all during COVID as well. So we started our online business. So Sam, she already had an online client, and she carried some of her personal clients to online, and we started our online business. That's when we started Kaha Training, our online training service, and we do programs for people, and it was good. And I love it. I love the fact how I can help people. I can train, I can educate people on how to make better choices, how to be better, how to live a healthier life, and get them good results. Now that's how I started as my personal trainer, my personal training journey. That's how it all started. So basically, why I want to do this podcast, it was my journey from being a construction worker, being a roofer. I want to document my journey from being a roofer to a gym owner or an entrepreneur or a business owner or whatever it is. So my short-term goals in the next 1 to 5 years is to work full-time in fitness. Whatever that looks like. Owning a gym, my own gym, or buying into a franchise, or PTing full-time, or doing online full-time. Just working full-time in fitness. That's my number one. That's my short-term goal. And my long-term goal is, I haven't really, I know what it is, but so my long-term goal in the next 5 plus years, 5, 10, 20 years, so I want to figure out a way to give back to my people, to the Māori, to anyone, to give back to the community, and to give back and to help the crisis that's happening in New Zealand at the moment, or anywhere really, but mainly New Zealand. So I came across some shocking studies the other day, and it's about the obesity rates in New Zealand and how bad they are. And according to these statistics, it's a bit of a tongue twist. According to these statistics, 1 in 3 people in New Zealand are obese. 1 in 3. That's freaking crazy. And more so, that's all of New Zealand adults, but more so in Māori people and Polynesian people. And so Māori people and Pacific Islanders. And so I think the stat was for Māori people, 51% of Māori people are obese. 51 of Māori adults are obese. 51%, and it's 73% of Pacific Islanders. How crazy is that? That is so sad, and it's such a horrific. It's so shocking that how bad that is. And I know that how they measure this is through BMI, and it's a European way of measuring like your height and your weight and whatnot. So it is kind of flawed, but it won't be from that. It won't be far off. Because I'm a Māori. I was born and raised, and I grew up in a Māori whānau, and I know, I've seen it firsthand. I know how unhealthy our people are. Like, it's not odd that instead of you going and getting your lunch, you just go and get a pie and a packet of chips for lunch, or fish and chips for dinner, or whatever it is. It's just our people, my people. We live quite an unhealthy lifestyle, and that's with food and activity and everything. Just the whole how we live as a people is really unhealthy, and it hurts. It does hurt. It's sad. It makes me sad to think about how bad those stats are. So that's my main reason, is to help out in some way. I haven't figured out how, but I know that I need to do this. So PT, personal training, and owning a gym is my surface level goal. My surface level, it's just the tip of the iceberg. But deep down, my deep desire, my North Star is to help our people. And that's my why, is to figure out a way. And this is gonna happen. All my power is gonna go towards helping our people and everyone around the world, as many people as I can. One person at a time is what we like to say, is changing the world one person at a time. And that's my big goal. That's what working towards that's what'll get me up in the morning. Like, if I had no money worries, so this is my definition on your passion, I reckon. If you had no money worries, if you didn't care about money, like you were set and you didn't have to work anymore because you had all the money in the world, would you still do this thing? That's how you figure out what your passion is. And to me, I'd wake up every day for the rest of my life working towards this, figuring out a way to help Māori people, help New Zealanders, and help everyone around the world, just to help them make better health decisions and just be healthy overall as a whole. Nutrition, training, just walking, everything, just your whole life in general is healthier. That's what I'd say would be my passion. That's what will wake me up in the morning every day and work towards every day, without a doubt. And how I think at the moment, what I think the way to do this is education, is teaching people how to do it. Like, it's not our fault. We just don't know any better. We haven't been taught how to live healthier. I get some it will come down to laziness, but it's just they don't know. We don't know any better. And it's hard. I know it's hard. Back home it's hard. Life's tough. Life's hard. Especially when you've got a big whānau to look after and to feed. And when you've got and I know our families are huge. And even our Pacific Islander whānaus, I know they're big. You're feeding, you don't just got one or two kids, you've got a whole tribe to feed. And when you've got a whole tribe to feed, you're going for the cheapest options. You're trying to, and most people only have these single income earners, families, and they have to spread their money across to feed their whole whānau, so it's tough. And I get it, it's tough. But there are other ways. There are ways that we can go about this to make better choices as a people, make better health choices, and to make it normal in our way of life. So I think it's education, teaching our parents, so then they can teach their kids, and then that's the way out. That's how you cut the line, because our kids are I know we can only help our older people so much, but our kids are the future. They're the future. That's who matter the most. And if we can cut that line of those bad habits, if we can cut it at the parents, and we can teach the parents how to make these better choices, then they'll be able to teach their kids. And then that's how we change. We cut that habit from the parent, and then we teach the kids, and then they'll teach their kids, and eventually we'll push those bad habits out, and our people will be healthier just from that education. So that's what that's my goal. That's my why. Anyway, I'm home now. That made my drive way faster. Thanks for listening. If you got something from it, share with your whānau. This is just the beginning. I'm so excited for this journey, and I hope you whatever you can get from it, and you can just learn as much as me, because I'm learning at the same time. Me talking about this is making me better at talking, and making me better at teaching, and just making me better as a person. So thank you for listening. Like and share. I hope this is on Spotify. If it's on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, see you guys next time. Ngā mihi whānau, mauri ora.